how many of you have been somewhere where it's like there's no wind? There's no real wind, but then all of a sudden, there's like a big wind. And then for just a minute or two, and then it stops again. And then a few minutes later, there's another big wind. You've seen that? You know what that is? That's, what? Those are called thermals. I've seen a bird that's just like you're driving by or you see them and they're just going like this. They're not flapping their wings.
Oh,
They're just, you've seen that before?
Yeah,
Hawks and eagles. Because what they're doing is they're looking for little animals. Wow, that's cool. They're looking for little animals on the ground because they're birds of prey. They eat other animals. So they're looking, not expending energy. But so how are they staying up? How do they stay up without flapping their wings?
Air.
What?
Gravity.
The thermals. Yes, Bradley. See? See, he's connecting the dots, right? So the sun, you notice the birds are not doing that at night. No, because they need the sun to be heating the ground to cause air to go up. How many people have seen a pot boil of water? Yeah, you've all seen a pot boil of water. You see that when the little bubbles form, they start rising. Same thing. Same thing, only instead of the source of energy being your stove, it's the sun heating the ground, causing the air to rise. Now what goes up must come down. So when you have rising air like this, you also have sinking air. So this is why you'll see the birds, they're circling. They're circling because they want to stay in this and they don't want to be in that, right? Rising, sinking, rising, sinking. So that's how hang gliders stay up. There's no thermals, like we talked about the sun hitting the ground. Why?
I thought it was because the wind, how it's on top of the rock.
In the thermals, yes, the wind hits on the rock and it makes it bake and it kicks off. But here, so let's say I have a bunch of wind. You've been to the coast, the ocean, not very fast, right? But there's also sometimes, especially up high, if you've flown a commercial airliner, you know that going from San Francisco to New York takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours less than going from New York to San Francisco. Why is that? Think.
Because
Well, air, of course, they're in air, but what?
The air current?
Air current, right. So you have the jet stream. So it's way up high, there are currents of air, right? And the jet stream is always going from west to east. San Francisco to New York. So when an airliner goes from San Francisco, it's up in that jet stream, so it's being helped. So it's in the air that's already moving, but it's going at same speed. When it comes back, it has to go against it, right? Think about it, right? Okay, so a hang glider goes 18 miles per hour, but if it's good, if you have maybe
Flying. Height.
height,
Flying.
right? So if the airplane was only 300 feet, you wouldn't be afraid. But if it's 40,000 feet, you'd be afraid.
Yup.
Okay, but if it crashes at 300 feet, you're still dead,
You're still dead no matter what.
right?
And then it gives you more time to think if it's good.
No, but what you're afraid of is not the height, really. Just trust me on this. You're afraid of the flying because you don't what?
Fly.
You don't fly. It's not your nature. You don't have wings, right? Birds aren't afraid of heights. So, does this thing work here? Wow, that's cool. Huh? Is that cool or what? Yeah, I love it. I need one of these. Okay, so what if you could have a device that gave you kind of wings, right? Now, if you were going to have wings, what would it be made up of?
Plastic.
Wow, It's why plastic?
Feather. I know.
No, it's a good answer, but why plastic?
Feathers.
Well, that's a good answer too. But we don't have feathers, and you don't grow them out of your skin. So you have to use Okay, so here's a rule: we have to use artificial materials. So if we're gonna make wing structure like this, so it has a bar it has two bars like that hold this bar out, right?
Like a kite?
Yeah, kind of like a kite, the same way, only the kite doesn't bear the kind of weight that a hang glider bears. And then it also you can't see it, but imagine a thing pointing out like this, and then there's wires that go here, and here, and here, and here. That is to make everything structurally sound, all right? So, so there you have a hang glider. All right, so how many have ever seen hang gliding? That's the key right there. Anybody else? Why plastic? Huh?
I think it's plastic because the air heats it.
Okay, well, yeah, but the air can hit steel too. So why plastic? That's a good answer, but why plastic? What?
It has like the strength.
Strength is good. Yes.
Because it's light.
It's light. Because we're heavy. You know, birds have like hollow bones and stuff. You've heard that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So they have a wingspan, but they're light, right? So we have to have something that's very light. It's called weight ratio, or it's called lift to weight ratio. We'll get into that, but it has to be very light. What's another thing it has to be?
Strong.
Strong. Very good. This guy's very active. Does he do this often, or is it just me? Okay. All right. Good.
It's me too. You got me.
Light and strong. Well, would you say those are two very, very, very big fundamentals?
Yeah.
Fundamentals, right? You have to start off right. Now, you can make mistakes along the way, but you have to have the fundamentals right. And these are the two biggest fundamentals. Light, strong. There's one other. You'll see this little thing on one end go like this a little bit, and this one goes down. And that makes the wing go like this, right? And when it goes like this, it turns, right? Now, there's much more complication than that. So the way we do that in a hang glider, there's two ways, but I'm just going to cover one because the other is a rigid wing that has control surfaces. But the hang glider, if you look at it from the front, so you have a wing that's basically like that. Then you have the king post I told you about, the wires like that. And then you have this control bar. You'll see this in the videos. Well, the control bar has wires that go like this. And then the pilot is here. Also has to end here. So here's 100% of the air. Hey, sit down somewhere, whatever.
You tried it, Crystal?
Yeah. Oh, you're doing filming?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Sorry. My bad. Right? My bad. All right. So, see? When you screw up, just admit it. Say, yeah, I screwed up. Okay, so 100% of the air here equals 100% of the air here. Now, but here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Crystal.
It only has this distance to go on the bottom, but up here it has to travel a farther distance. But it still has to all equal here. Now, the way that works, and it's kind of like magic. It's not really magic. It can be explained mathematically. But because it takes that same air longer to get here, the wing goes up as it's moving through the air. This creates what's called a vacuum. A vacuum, you know, like that.
The one
Right?
like in Mr. Nikoley's closet.
Right. Yeah. So it creates a vacuum. That's what causes it to go up. As long as the wing is moving through the air. So if now hang gliders don't have power. You know, when you take off in a jet, it has power, so it's pushing it through the air as it goes up. Hang gliders are gliders. We don't have power. It's like if you're in an airplane and you cut the power off. So what's causing the wing to go through the air? Now this is getting I'm getting more and more complicated, but it's going to get fun soon. I just want to make sure that anybody who's very curious can go Google this stuff. Google airlift, airfoil, da-da-da-da. You can learn all about it. So gravity. Gravity is the power. And I'm going to get to the other good answer in a while from your name again? Bradley. Bradley gave a good answer, and we're going to cover that in just a second here. So gravity causes, because gravity is pulling it down, but because it's an airfoil, as it's being pulled down, it moves to the air, and that's what keeps it up. That's what makes it glide rather than just go, whoo! The stuff that makes you afraid of heights, right? And the reason why you're not really afraid of flying, those of you who've flown, because you know that you just don't go, whoo, you go boom, and that's because of wings, that's because of an airfoil. Okay, have just a bar like that. It doesn't have typically a tail like that. All right, so that's what it looks like on the outside, but what does it look like on the inside? What's the design? How do you make it strong? Okay, we already established. Now, so let's first cover the part where it's light. Okay, you said plastic. They did way back in the day. They made them out of like bamboo and plastic. Very good answer, right off the bat like that, right? So, but now they do them with better materials like Dacron and nylon. So it's like a fabric, but it's very strong but very light. But what is the structure part made of? That's just the covering. So what's the structure part made of? Do you know the name of the metal? It's not what? Is it steel?
No.
No. What could it be?
Iron.
Not iron. Iron's
Metal.
worse than steel. What? Well, what's metal? I said, what kind of metal? Let's see.
Copper. Silver.
What?
Silver.
No, so to be too expensive. Okay, that's another thing. Not too expensive, right? Okay, here. What is, okay. I found some. What's this made of right here? Well, it's metal, yeah, but there's all kinds of metal. This is steel right here. What's this?
Rock.
Aluminum. What do you drink your sugar drinks out of?
Aluminum.
Aluminum.
Can. Like Dr. Pepper. Aluminum.
Do you know why aluminum cans, why they make sodas with aluminum cans? What?
So that no. So that it could be light. It won't be that heavy.
Why would it be light though?
Because they have the liquid inside it.
You ever seen a guy carry in like 6 boxes of cases into a store of oil? Do the same thing as those ailerons. It makes them go like this, so that's what turns the hang glider. See? Pushing and pulling, just like a shopping cart. All right? Okay. Now, I want to cover one more kind of lift, and then we'll get into the videos. All right, so I told you about the thermals, right? Who remembers that? Bradley does. Who else? Y'all remember that? Okay, so
Mariah.
if you go up to Fort Funston, up there right on the coast,
San Francisco.
San Francisco. So here's the water, right?
Sit down,
And
please.
you've all seen the cliff, right? It goes along for miles. It's all over the coast. Now, how many of you have seen seagulls flying? And they just go along the cliff.
Oh.
You see them? They just go down the cliff and they come back, right?